Hello and welcome to another show of Jeremy Reichner here, together with my co-host Andres Martinez is going to join very soon. And today we have something special for you. We're going to talk about the relationship between audience and clients. Your audience and your clients, right? We're going to talk about some cool things like how to turn your audience into clients and how to have your clients become your audience, or how to have your audience bring you new clients, and how to nurture your clients and your audience. So we're going to approach this subject. And of course, like any other weekly live broadcast that I'm doing together with Andres, we're also going to open it to questions. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to post them. Hi, Sen, good to have you with us. Thanks for being here. And we're going to have people joining us very soon. So if you're here, hold on. You can post your questions. You can tell me what you're working on today, and we're going to start straight down the subject that I just mentioned to you very, very soon. So here we go. Get ready. We're going to crush it together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe I should count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? Are you ready? He's coming. I can see him. Here he is. Here is my
What's up?
guest. Hey. Oh,
Hey,
wow.
bro. How are you?
That doesn't look like Toronto behind you, I have to say.
It is not. It is Florida. We're in Florida today. At my boy's Alex place. We got a nice pool here. Some nice green palm trees, which is nice to see for a change. Yeah, I'm gonna just maybe take a seat over here. See how this
Wow.
chair is.
Great idea.
Hmm?
So tell us, first of all, like what happened? How did you go from Toronto to Florida? And you have to make your connection better because right now we can't see you and we can also not hear you so well. So try to find a good connection,
Oh,
good
cool.
connectivity.
Sorry, I just got here. Sorry, the signal's a little bit weak. Can you hear me good?
So I can hear you right now. I can see you. It's not the best quality, but we can
Okay.
try to make it work like that. Oh, you're cutting down. Not good.
Um, to the Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah. Probably have to be closer to the house or something. We enjoy seeing the pool, but apparently the connection is better when you're closer to the inside.
Yeah, how's that? Is that better for you?
Yes, it's
Okay.
better.
Just gonna sit down here.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
yeah, so I was just saying to everyone that today we're going to talk about the relationship between audience and clients, right?
Right.
How to turn your audience into clients, how to grow your audience, how to have and nurture your audience into becoming clients, and how to even have your audience maybe bring you new clients.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think building an audience now, it's like key, like fundamental for any business, right? I think everyone's waking up to the fact that they realize that it is key to build an audience. But now the question is, how do I do that, right?
Yep.
So, I always like to start the conversation with, a very simple question, which is, you know, what does your audience care for? Right? What is it, what makes your audience tick, right? What drives your audience, right? And it's funny because most business owners, believe it or not, I think they barely know their audience. They barely know their clients. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think either they don't know, or maybe they think they don't really understand why they should know. Why is it so important?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, most clients go very surface level when it comes to, the audience specifically that they want to be targeting. People just ask themselves some of the most basic questions like, you know, who is my audience? Like, how old are they? Where are they? Like, those questions are very, very like old school, per se, right? Like that's back in the day, back in or earlier when we didn't have the data that we have now, right? You only knew age, demographic, male or female, maybe one or two more things, but that was it, right? And like, to be honest with you, with the amount of data that we have now, that you can even know what shoes someone likes and what food they want to, or what blogs, what websites they go to, like that's insane, the level of data, and people are not going deep enough. People always are like asking me, Andres, how do I improve my Facebook ads? And like, I promise you, 8 out of like 10 times that I jump in a call or text with these guys is not the Facebook ad skill that they're missing. It's knowing their audience, what they're missing. They don't know their audience, so they don't know how to target them properly. You
Right,
know?
right. That's a very good point you bring up, Andres. And I think, we can really define two categories of businesses or people regarding that. I think, like, one part, a lot of people are not aware of how much information they can gather today about, their clients or their audience. That's one part. Maybe the ones that are still using methods that were good 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So they didn't adapt.
Mm-hmm.
They
Let
don't
me
know. They're not aware
let
of
me
that.
I'm gonna grab my earphones too, because it's a little bit harder to hear you.
Yes, I think it would be better also to hear, and also for the people that they won't hear us talking, double like the echo, especially if we talk together. So that will be better, I think, for both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm just gonna grab
so,
my earphones like super quick.
so I was saying that, from one side you have people that are still using and are not aware of the new ways to gather information, to have much more knowledge and data and analytics about your client and your audience. And on the other side, you have people that maybe have access to a lot of information, a lot of data, right? But they don't know what to do with that. They don't know how to look at it and how to actually
Right.
do something with it and optimize it or monetize it.
Yeah, man, 100%. Data is it's out there, it's available, but I think it really comes down to like having like a constant passion on really getting to know your customer. Because here's the thing, like, it's human behavior at the end of the day. Would you agree? I mean, we interact and consume information way different than we did before, which means that our behavior changes, our routines change, the devices that we use change, and you can't just, have a one very specific model for who you want to target, without taking into consideration that you need to be evolving. You need to be evolving with your audience. And when there's not that deep passion to get to know your audience at a deeper level, there's no sustainability. There's no long term with that. Does that make sense
So
to you?
yes, but let's try to think like a business owner, and he's listening to that and he's saying to himself, okay, so where do I
Yeah.
start?
What do I do?
I'm
Awesome.
overwhelmed. I don't know. I don't have time for that.
Right. Right. Okay. So let's hone in on that. I like it. What would you say would be one specific case? Like, give me a business owner. Let's go through like a case scenario. We'll go through like the thought process on how to do that. Like,
Right.
just
Good,
give
good,
me
good point.
give me an
Good
example.
point. Good point. So first of all, we need to separate between, I would say, like the online world, the digital world, everything which is, online, connected to the internet and somehow, because
Hmm.
in the online world you can measure some things, right? And then you have everything which is offline. So if we're talking
Right.
about an existing business, let's say a restaurant. Okay, let's say I'm a restaurant, or I'm a shop and I'm
Hmm.
selling something, right?
Hmm.
So uh, if I'm already an
Hmm.
existing business, I already have a lot of information within myself. I already know, I see people coming in every day. Maybe I've been around for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And
Yeah.
so
Like
it's all
a
first of
like a brick and mortar store, right?
exactly. So a
Yeah.
classic business, the first thing you need to do is simply
Hmm.
to ask the right questions,
That's huge, bro. That's
right? To
huge.
know, you have to ask the right questions. So either you can ask yourself or learn what question you should ask yourself, or you can ask someone like us, right? That's what we do. The first thing that we do when you're going to talk with a potential client is ask him a series of questions about his business, about his
Yes.
clients, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Questions like,
So, what would be some of those questions? Yeah, totally.
exactly. So, what are the typical questions that we're going to ask? We're going to ask, who is your typical client, right? How old is he? Where does he live?
Mm-hmm.
What does he order, right? How often does he come?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
that's the first part of question that you need to gather some basic information that's
Yeah.
going to
Exactly.
allow
That's
you,
that's the basic information. Yeah.
yeah, it's really basic information just to allow you to build what we call the buyer persona or different buyer
Mm-hmm.
persona. What is a buyer
Mm-hmm.
persona? If you don't know, a buyer persona is basically creating some kind of a simulation of a typical client or different types of typical
Mm-hmm.
clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a restaurant, you might have different types of buyer personas. One of them might be the typical guy that comes in for
Right.
breakfast. It might be someone that is working in an office nearby that just wants to grab a quick cup of coffee or a sandwich on the way to work. That might be one persona. So maybe it's
Right.
like a typical worker, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, 35 years old. He has two kids at home. He's rushing. He doesn't have much
Mm-hmm.
time, and he buys his coffee every day. That's one type. Or maybe in the evening, you have another type of people. Maybe you have the couples that are coming to have a good meal together.
Right. That would be like exactly like a second buyer persona on that one. Yeah.
Right. So you can have multiple buyer personas depending on your business. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first thing
Mm-hmm.
you need to think about is gathering this data, looking at what you already have, looking at your business, and looking from a special perspective into who are your clients, understanding who are your clients.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And the second
Yeah.
part,
Okay. Hmm.
just
Yeah.
giving like
Exactly. Let's
yeah, so
deeper. Yeah.
giving like a
From the
quick
top down.
overview. So the second part is the
Yes.
online part. And the online part starts
Mm-hmm.
from the basic side. It starts with your online assets that you already have. Okay, so most of the
Mm-hmm.
businesses will have their first asset will be their website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of
Yes.
them have a website. So you start with the website. You need to have Google Analytics on your website. This is like the
Mm-hmm.
first step, right? Because Google Analytics is going to give you information about, who are the people that come to your site, what do they do on your website, where do they
Mm-hmm.
come from, how much are they worth to you, etc., etc. So this is one way of
Yes.
automatically getting this information from you, from your asset, from your
Mm-hmm.
website,
Yeah, with
and you can
like specific data from the website. Yeah, totally.
exactly. And you can do the same thing, also gather information from the other platforms, especially on social media, because on social media, you're getting also a lot of information. So you
Mm-hmm.
can go to Facebook or to Instagram, look at your insights and see who are the people that are engaging with you, right?
Right.
Who are
Right.
the people that are following your stuff?
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? For everybody that's watching right now, we're talking about how to get to know your customer better. How do you target better on Facebook ads? How do you really, serve your customer better overall? Because really, it does come down to how well you know your customer. Because if you can match the right solution to the right problem, you're basically winning in marketing. That's basic marketing 101. You know what I mean?
Correct. Exactly. So I briefly gave you an overview of the offline, the classic world of getting the
Yes.
information from your own business when you have your clients coming in every day, looking at them from another perspective, and really trying to build those buyer personas. Then I give you a little side oversight about gathering the information on the online world, from the
Yes.
website, from social media, Facebook, Instagram, And now, let's take it to the next step. So let's say I already
Let's take it
gathered
to the
this
next level.
information, right? So
Okay,
I gathered
perfect.
this information. I have the
Hmm.
offline information. I have the buyer
Hmm.
persona. I have
Yeah.
some online data, Google Analytics,
Yes.
Facebook. Now,
Yes.
what's the next step? What would you suggest?
The next step is hitting the emotional part. I mean, yes, you got some of the data that's like, mind, but now it's time to go to like the heart, like, some of the more basic questions with that is things such as what's your customer's biggest desire,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's their biggest dream? I mean, like really when you think about it, and this is something that Tony Robbins, for everyone that likes Tony Robbins, this is something that I really, it really got stuck to me when I heard it, and it's the primary question. We all have a primary question that we are driven by. Some people's primary question is, how did I look compared to other people? Some other people might be, why me? Why did this happen to me? And they're always looking at it with like a negative outlook on things. Some other ones might be positive, like for example, how can I help other people? How can I make an impact? And that's their primary question that basically drives every decision, right? So when you're getting to know your customer, knowing what drives your customer, and let me give you another tangible example. People, because we're all marketers here, mostly. You will really relate. What's one of the main things that drives marketers?
Good
Money,
question.
money. Greed. So greed is a huge one. That's why all the make money online, it's always playing on greed, right?
Yep.
So it's like this: discover how I made X amount of $1 million in a freaking hour or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so it touches on a very fundamental part, which is the greed, right? Some other ones might be driven by lust, right?
Yep.
And they're looking at like really super sexy women or super sexy cars, and you're lusting. You're like, oh man, I wish I had that house. I wish I had that car. I wish I had that girl. I wish I had, right? And so that's like the more basic instinct, primary question driven, uh, you know, research that you gotta do, right? So I mean, for someone like your example, the restaurant, right? So that's a perfect question to ask. What is the primary question? And here's the thing: people get confused because there's an array of clients that might come to the restaurant, but there's always that one client, that one person that will be above everyone else, that will be the one coming back every single day, buying from you, like telling everyone about it, like what they call a raving fan, right?
Yep.
So that raving fan, what are they motivated by when they see the restaurant? Are they motivated by the food only, or do they want the experience too? Do they want the environment, or do they want the chicks? Hooters is not driven by the food. Who cares about the food? You just want food that's decent. Everyone knows what Hooters is driven on, right?
100%. You're right.
100%, right? So those are the questions that I think dive like deeper into, you know, understanding your client at a deeper level. Because when you know what drives them, it's so much easier to write emails, to write copy, to write sequences, to write funnels, because you really understand what they are looking for and what's going to resonate with them. Outside of just that it's just a mom and it's 34 years old, and like those things are just like basic. Like really you want to be diving in deeper to knowing what their primary question is. Does
Right.
that make
Right.
sense? Is
Yeah.
that is
You
that is
know,
that is that like tangible, or is that too abstract? I don't know.
I think, like you have to ask the business owner, like, what are his main goals? And the goals
Right.
it can be like I would say like, like a measurable goal, like a materialistic goal, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
want to grow my business by X%. I would like to
Right.
have X
Correct.
amount of dollars, by the end of the quarter or whatever.
Right.
But he also will have a more holistic goal, a more spiritual goal, like like what's my purpose, right? What will make
Mm-hmm.
me happy? Why
Exactly.
why am
Fulfilled.
I having this business? Why did I start this business
Totally.
on the first place?
Totally.
Why? Why did I get into a restaurant? Why did you open a restaurant,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
those are
Totally, man.
important questions because, and that brings me to a very important point. And I think that
Yeah. The
today
why.
the why. And again, like how do you connect
Hundred percent.
the why you can connect for yourself. So, talking about yourself as a business owner, so if I know my why, I'll have a better sense of what I'm doing, of self-identity, of self-awareness, of motivation for myself, right? That's good. But how do you take that, right? And how do you
Hmm.
translate it into something that can help you use social media to grow your business?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I love that.
And
I love that.
I think, in my opinion, the way to do that is when you know yourself, your own purpose, and you know why you have this restaurant. Why did you open this restaurant? Or why did you open this business? And why do you want it to succeed? And you can really, it's your passion, it's something that you're passionate
Oh,
about.
dude, this
Share
is
it, talk
gold.
about it.
Make sure you send me the audio. This is gold. Go on, go on. Love
Thank
it.
you.
I'm gonna
So
like put a
take your
ton of this
passion,
friggin'
take your
yeah,
sense
buddy.
of purpose and on why it's your destiny and talk about it. Share it with your audience, share it with the outside world,
One
and
hundred percent.
they from a human level they'll be able to connect with that, they'll feel much more connected and attracted to your business, and they will want to help you, they will want to come to your place, to your business, and they will want to be your clients because they will want someone like you to
Yes.
serve them. They will see your passion, they will see your your value, they will see
Yes.
why you
Yes.
do
Yes.
that, they
Yes.
will want you to be your client, really.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. I think you touched on something extremely, extremely key that people should be listening right now. For everyone that's watching, like this is like extreme, like gold if you're in the marketing space. We're going through a shift in era where a lot of the corporate and just very basic, boring branding, it's dying. Like people want to see the face of who's running the company. Like, why do you think that Steve Jobs was such an impact? That Jeff Bezos, that Elon Musk, that Mark Cuban, that Ty Lopez. Like I can go all day. Like personal branding and reflecting more of your heart and the emotional level is absolutely changing the industry because people don't trust anymore a little logo with a sales page. Why? Because anyone can do it, and they're probably thinking in their minds, man, like, what if this is a scam? They want to see a real person with real intentions, and then they can judge, is this legit or not legit? You know what I mean?
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
everything is changing very fast. So when you think about the change that has been going, it's really changing all the time. And a few years ago, like you said, it might be enough for a business to have a nice logo, invest a lot of money into designing the logo and having the right colors and the right patterns, right? And putting a lot of money inside that and having a nice slogan and putting a nice picture, and that's it, right?
Yes.
Slogan, logo, nice picture, that's it. That's your marketing.
Yes. Exactly.
And then you think, okay, I'm evolving into social media. So instead of putting it in newspaper, right, I'm going to put it on Facebook or Instagram, and and that's it. And then the magic is going to happen.
And then the magic's gonna happen. Exactly. And
Exactly.
yeah.
And you spend thousands of dollars on that, and you
Yeah.
don't see any change, and you don't understand. You think, something's wrong. Social media is not working. It's BS. Social media doesn't work. You're blaming social media, right?
Right.
Because you're doing the same
Right.
thing on social media like you did before, and you don't see results. So, what should you do? That's not the way
Hmm.
to do it because it doesn't bring results. So what should you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And yeah. Totally. And to be like completely transparent, like that's also one of the reasons why we do content, because we want people to like, know, and trust us. We want people to know what we're all about before they decide to work with me. Like I build funnels for people. I help them with their social media. I consult on all that stuff. But I understand that there's a ton of guys doing that, and there's a ton of guys that are way better than me. I know that. So my hopes is that by doing awesome content, I'm providing value like I'm doing in this video, out of my day and out of the stuff that I got to do, that a lot of you guys would be like, oh, yo, this guy's cool, and like they want to now like contact me and work with me. Like it's not a secret really, what all this is about, but it really does go back to understanding what that why is, and going like deeper on like the purpose, and communicating that to your audience through actually valuable content. It's like I was listening to Frank Kern the other day. A lot of you guys know Frank Kern. and he said something interesting. It's like, hey, how are you gonna build value with your customer? And it's like, it's simple. You actually help them. It's like you actually help them
That,
before asking for their money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it really does come down to that, right? Like people are now wanting to, just click a few buttons and copy this code or this, system, and they're gonna make money. And it doesn't work that way. If you want long-term sustainability on your business, you gotta get to know your audience really, really well. And that's why we're making these videos, because we want guys to like know us and us know the audience. And I mean, guys, like if you guys got any questions, like ask away. Like this is a live, Q&A, live subject and conversation. Like we want to like engage with you guys. That's why we do this content. And we also want to just give back with the stuff that we've, done in the past. And, I've lost thousands of dollars, dude, because I didn't know how to target and I was being lazy. Like I just wanted to run a couple of Facebook ads and have the magic work, but it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. And if
right.
it does, you got lucky for a little bit, but it won't work 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the road. Long-term sustainability, bet on the long term. Always, dude, always.
Right, right. And that brings me to the next step. So I just talked a few, 2 minutes ago about taking your classic advertisement, with the logo and slogan and a nice picture and putting it on social media, and it doesn't work. So the next
Yes.
thing, and most of the agencies out there and marketers doing social media, what are they saying today? They're saying, okay, so instead of putting this old picture with a logo and a slogan, put a nice Lamborghini or put a nice woman in bikini, right? Or copy someone else's content, or like put the content of someone else on your page, and bada boom, surprise, surprise, it's going to work. Now it might work better than the old style picture from the newspaper that
Right.
we talked about, and
Of
it might
course.
have been working very well maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but that's finished, guys. That's finished. Everyone is doing that
Yo,
today.
I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret, a little bit of an insider information here, but like drop shipping is going to be dying soon. I literally read recently on Stripe, Stripe, the credit card, everyone uses it, on the privacy terms, they do not want to do business with drop shipping companies.
Yep.
They don't, because they understand that customer satisfaction is primary key. And people are gonna get pissed that like these businesses that are selling all these products and are taking 60 days sometimes or even more to I already forgot I even wanted that product by the time I don't even want it anymore.
You're
and,
so right. You're
and,
so right.
and that's why doing e-commerce and doing business the right way will always play a better part. Just because you bought a course and I want to be completely honest with everyone here. Just because you get a course like, Ty Lopez, or just because you get a course on Adrian Morrison or Sam Ovens, or, like I've bought them all myself too. It doesn't guarantee you're going to make it for the long term. These guys are giving you their information, their insight, but there's a lot that only comes through testing and experience and listening to guys that are in the trenches. Like I'm constantly over and over every day, like in the trenches, running a lot of these campaigns, dealing with clients, and I know what's working, how it's shifting. And that's really important for people to know, because if everyone puts all their hopes and dreams in this one course and goes all in, and that's awesome. But, then the expectations and the reality kind of kicks in when they realize that, oh, I am not at, financially free or at, 7 figures or whatever in 6 months like I thought I would. Right? And it just takes time. It just takes time.
Patience.
I'm not there. I'm not gonna say I've made it or I'm this guru or anything like that. Like not at all.
Yep.
I'm still working away and chipping away, but I understand now, and I have the right mindset to bet on the long term, to really hone in on the right clients and serve them, and stop diversifying so much too. That drives me nuts. Everyone's trying to diversify so fast before they've even made it. It's like chill, focus, one thing.
Right. And I think from Gary V has been saying, Gary Vaynerchuk has been saying a lot, that you need to have a mix of patience, of doing something for many years and keep doing it every day, but on the same time you also have to be very fast action taker and being the
Mm-hmm.
first one to try new things out and change things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if something is outdated, you don't have to stick with it for years, right? But if you're doing
Mm-hmm.
the right thing and the right strategy, then keep doing it every day, right? And have the patience because the results will come. And
Yes.
that brings me also to another point that you talked about, like people investing into courses, online courses. Now, with all the hype around them, a lot of times one of the the problem with those courses is that they have like the time to market. So what you're getting, the information that you're getting, is usually at least like 6 months old and sometimes 2, 3, 5 years old. And maybe 5 years ago, it didn't seem like much, but today,
That's true.
and
That's
six
another
months
point
ago,
too.
maybe Instagram Live was not here, basically, right? So there were, everything is changing so quickly. It really needs to be something that's updated for today or for this week, and not for a few months
Yes.
ago.
Platforms and tactics and softwares and all that stuff is always freaking changing. You know what I mean? And that's why instead of people getting so caught up with getting to know the platform inside out, they should step back a little bit and see the bigger picture. Because when tomorrow Facebook's algorithm changes again and your business falls apart, you need to be able to understand how to pivot and go to the next thing, understanding how, like, you mentioned Gary Vee. I love Gary Vee because he gets attention. He gets that attention arbitrage, which I think is it's extremely key. It's like whether you're on a billboard or on Facebook ad or whatever you're doing, it really does come down. Yo, what's going on, guys? Leave a freaking comment. VJ Patel is an awesome guy too. Big shout out for him. He's like, a killer programmer and like building funnels. Like, yeah, throw some love, guys. Throw some love. These videos are for you guys. Like, we're literally making these videos because we want to bring value to you guys. And we're talking about client, getting to know your client and targeting your client better. So,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I think it's key to understand that there's those evergreen strategies that they should really understand and not be married to any platform. It really does come down to attention.
Right. And there's another point I want to mention now is, and that's very right when you're going to approach a client. So if you're a marketer or service
Mm-hmm.
provider and you're
Mm-hmm.
approaching a new client, it's very important that you really listen to them and get them to talk first, right?
Listening is huge.
Listening, understanding what is their main problem, right? What
Mm-hmm.
are they thinking about? What's the biggest worry, right? What hasn't been working for them? And by understanding that, you can then also, like prepare and have the right recipe, the right remedy for their pain, for their problem.
Totally, totally, man. Listening and deploying empathy are the biggest things to knowing exactly how to market. Because here's the thing, like, as we said, all those tactics and things can change, but if you really get to know what takes your audience, like, humans are funny because we really do come down to being very, very simple in how we are. So we all need love, we all need validation, we all need, certain things that are like basic human needs, right? And when you really understand what drives your audience, like Tony Robbins talks about this too, with sorry, give me 1 second. What's that, bro? That's all good. Yeah, it's buddy Alex here. Um, yeah, like Tony Robbins talks about the four, like basically the four basic human needs: certainty, uncertainty, love and connection, and I'm forgetting the last one. And certainty, uncertainty, love and connection. Well, there's six, but the other two are like spiritual, which is growth and contribution. But I'm forgetting the last one. Certainty, uncertainty. Guys, any of you guys watching familiar with that? Like, help me out. I blanked out that last one. But anyway, my point here is that if you understand what drives your audience in that basic level, you will be able to stand out from your competition because the message is going to be a lot more relevant to them instead of just being one more out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep, 100%. So that's a good time to ask you once again, where are you and who's with you?
Oh yeah, totally. So Alex, say what up. What up? What up? What up?
Hey, hey,
We're just
hey,
here.
mystery guest. or
Hold on
mystery
a second.
host, I must say,
I gotta
because
help I gotta
Oh,
help
okay, yeah,
someone out real quick.
he's a little bit busy, but
Yeah, 2 seconds.
yeah,
so
he's a little
that
bit busy, but
that was Alex Rodriguez, known as Alex the Speaker.
yeah, yeah, he's an awesome guy. You guys should check it out. Alex the speaker, go check him out on social media and whatnot. But yeah, I'm basically here down in Florida, Sarasota, and we're just having an awesome time masterminding about a couple projects and a couple things that we're gonna be doing together. We got this huge investors and like millionaires that are like gonna be backing up the project because they really believe in what we're presenting, and it's a huge like new project that no one's really doing, and it's the perfect timing. It's key, and I've been in the trenches for a while to know what works and doesn't work, and so it's the perfect timing to like deploy it at a bigger level. And so we're just like super excited for that. So big things happening, super thankful.
That's great, and I want to acknowledge everyone who's watching right now, all the people watching the live stream, as well as all the people catching the replay. And once again, I want to invite them to send their questions. And tell me, Andres, like, what would be your, the thing that you learned the last 30 days, the biggest thing that you learned in the last 30 days?
Last 30 days?
Yep.
Wow, that's a good question, bro. Okay, let me think it for 1 sec. Segmenting. That's the biggest thing I've learned. Segmenting. Not a lot of people are segmenting at the level that I'm starting to understand it. And it comes down to relevance. Okay, so, let me give you an example. If you are someone that, talks to, let's even say moms, okay? And you market to moms. But guess what? Within moms, there's multiple little segmentations that if you're able to tap into those right, you might have a mom that's single, like a divorced mom. You might have a mom that has 3 kids, or you might have a mom that, like that matters because they're, oh, look at that. Hey guys, what's going on?
So what's up?
Here, you wanna, just a little easier to learn. Well, Jeremy pieced out, so you and I are kind of like living here. But yeah, they asked me a good question, which was, what is the best lesson or the most valuable lesson you've learned in the last 30 days? Specifically the last 30 days.
Regarding what?
Regarding anything. I guess that was just the question.
Oh, good things take time. And I understand that's like very basic, but the thing is, if you're starting a business, specifically targeting the business, is that if you want to start something that's real, a lot of people are taking a lot of shortcuts, so I think it's important. What's up? I'm here, Jeremy.
Just opened the door to my wife. She came back from another city. Hey,
I was just saying
Alex
that I
is
think
here.
I was saying I think it's important that we realize that to start a business, to start anything new, that what you have to do is you have to have the intention of long term, right? So long term over short term, whether that be 2 months or 2 days. A lot of people want to start a business quick, but if you started effectively, you started within 2 months, you get everything sorted out, and you make sure that you're actually doing it right. Because there's way too many people like you and I know, we all know, that just they see the money, they chase it, but then they only make a certain amount. It's only short term gains because they didn't prepare for the long term. Yeah, and that's what I really learned is that faster is not always better in a world where everything is so fast. You want to slow down a little bit.
You want to slow down. I love that.
Yeah, that you're actually aligned with what it is that's most effective.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And actually, Alex, if you're here, I want to mention a few minutes ago, me and Andres, we talked about, like embracing your calling for business owners to understand and share, like, what's their purpose and why did someone open a restaurant, right? Why did someone go into real estate?
Yeah, it all comes down to your intention as to why you do what you do. Once you have a good why, right, and you have a foundation of that, then you can start guiding your life in the direction of what it is that actually fulfills you. That's what embracing your calling really is about. Right. I have my program and all that stuff, and it's great. A lot of people have getting a lot of value from it, bringing people from all over the world into one space to learn from. So.
And cool. We talked about how to connect between the inside and the outside. So once right, what you're calling from the inside, the challenge is to share it with the outside world and know how to use it on social media, right? Because everyone is trying to keep it for themselves. But if you share it with your audience, and you know to put
Sharing is
it
caring,
outside,
baby.
exactly,
Well, the
then
secret
you'll
to
be able
living
to
is
grow.
giving, right? Right.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I'm totally with you on that. I can't wait to actually well, I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, it's all good.
I can't wait to actually get on this one-on-one with you at a certain period of time. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Right now, I gotta run. We'll see you after. But I'm glad I could like drop a little bit of knowledge. Right?
Yeah.
See you.
Peace.
Cool guy, huh?
Yeah,
Nice
man.
guy.
So yeah, man.
It's
So
the magic
big
of
big things
social
happening.
media, really. You see, so we have now, three different
Totally.
people
I
from
didn't know
different,
this,
three
dude.
different
Like
places.
totally. Like it's crazy how once you connect with people and you really vibe and whatnot that big things can happen. You know what I mean? Like it just really takes like determination, and it takes like courage to go and pursue your dreams, and like big things happening. Now we're like in freaking Florida closing that big ass deal. It's like things are happening when you really put your mind into it and you honing on your why. A lot of people are in for the money. Like, forget the money. Yes, of course, we all need it, and the world is driven by it. But like, people will read your intentions, and your business will not flourish.
Yep, 100%. And you mentioned before, like, why drop shipping is not going to last.
Yeah.
Um, and you did mention that now might still be a good time to jump into e-commerce, but other than drop shipping. Can you share some
Yeah.
insights regarding that?
Yeah, totally. So, e-commerce right now, it's huge, but it's also very easy for people to jump in doing drop shipping. And as you know, the easier that it is for you, the easier it is for your competition. Just the fact, right? And it's a reality, right? So people get super excited and they think it's going to be so easy, but now you're competing with a bunch of other guys that are doing exactly the same. So the main differentiator is not the Facebook ads, it's not the product, it's not the whatever you name it on drop shipping, is branding. If you want a long-term success in your business, you need to build that solid brand that has a proper message, that really has a good why, that blows up. You know what I mean?
And how do you
Branding,
do
bro.
that? Why, you want to ride the wave, you want to ride the trends, because trends are changing all the time. Fidget
Right,
spinners might be a great
right.
trend 6 months ago, but now it's finished.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
how do you build a brand identity? How do you, grow your brand awareness while still being able to have the flexibility to adapt to new trends?
And again, it comes back to the audience. It comes down to the audience, because here's the thing. The reason why Amazon is winning, it's because they're able to disproportionately make more offers than anyone else and extend the crap out of their lifetime value of a customer. Each person that walks in their doors, it just they're there forever,
Yeah.
right? And the products will change. The products will 100% keep changing, right? But the audience, if you like, okay, I'll give you a solid example. Okay, let's say that you're. I spoke about this like a second ago. Let's say that you are marketing to moms. Okay,
Hmm.
and you might have an awesome whatever blouse that you're marketing to moms, but all of a sudden your manufacturer stops doing it and stops manufacturing it for some reason. God knows what. So what? Are you gonna just sit and that's the end of your business? No, right? And so here's the thing. When you got this, like, let's imagine you have 100,000 list of moms that are like been buying your product, and all of a sudden, boom, you don't have a product. You can't ride the fidget spinner trend or whatever it is. But now you still have that 100,000 list of moms. So your goal here is to get to know your audience at the level that we discussed in the beginning. And for you guys that are just jumping in, you can watch the replay later. But once you get to know your audience at that deeper level, you can keep switching offers and keep offering them new things. And guess what? They will keep buying if it's done right. Like the
Hmm.
reason why, the big, like, heck, think of Apple. How many, like, if you're an iPhone user, you will keep upgrading your freaking phone till it's the X200, like, I don't care. Like, there you go, buddy. There you go. you know, you will just keep, you just keep buying from them. Or
Right.
they know their audience so well that the next product still reflects the same why, and it still reflects the same, way that the audience will respond to it, right? So
Right.
that's the key. That's the key. It's not starting at the product. It's starting at the audience. Believe
But
me.
everyone is talking about putting on your some slogans on T-shirts, some funny memes on T-shirts and selling it, right?
Yeah, and you know what? That might make you money for a little bit. If that's what you want, if you just want the short term, yeah, you might make 100K or something, for in the course of maybe a few months if you will really have like a super awesome, clever, creative, and good Facebook ad strategy. But at the end of the day, same deal, dude. When I decide to jump in on the same business and I also got the savvy skills, what's gonna happen then? I'm gonna compete head to head with you, and then your sales are gonna go down. There's no differentiator. You need a secret sauce. Secret sauce, baby.
So apropos secret sauce, I want to ask you something I think should be very valuable for the audience is that you have your own experience with e-commerce because you basically had experience about a product that you launched, a white label product
Right.
that you manufacture with your own brand.
Right.
And
Right.
like it's an accessory for cell phones, basically, the selfie stick, right?
Sorry.
Hey, dog. That's Alex's dog. His famous dog. You can catch him
Yeah.
on social media as well. So anyway, so your experience with selling your own product, right?
Yeah.
What are I would say the three main points that you learned from that?
The three main points. Okay, so number one, focus. I mess up. I'll tell you, and I'll be honest. I mess up with it because I diversify too fast. Hold on. Let me just open the door to this guy.
Go on, Kuna. Go on.
Sorry. Yeah, so I diversify too quick, and I think that's why one of my biggest advices that I always give to people, it's like focus. People love to jump from one thing to another. They're like, oh my gosh, cryptocurrency, and they do it, and then they're like, oh my gosh, agency, oh my gosh, SMMA, oh my gosh, e-commerce, oh my god, and they just keep switching over and over and over, and you never grow because you keep switching to the next shiny object, right? That's why they call it the shiny object syndrome, right? And for me, that was a big mistake. I launched the product and I was, kind of doing against the current because, I didn't know how to market as well when I first launched and whatnot. And then my agency started growing, and then I just, it was just too much going on. So that was one big lesson, focus. Second lesson, don't market to the mind, market to the heart, which is what I was talking before, right? And I was marketing to the mind, meaning I was talking so much about what my product can do. My product has a 3-in-1, selfie stick accessory, blah, blah, blah. And it also weighs this much, and it also does this and does that. And people are like, I don't care, you're marketing to just like what the features and benefits are, instead of marketing about, the desires and dreams and pains and like more of the deeper stuff, right? Don't tell them just, all those little product details. Like, tell them how they can use it, how that's going to transform their life. Why should they really have your product that's going to impact their deepest desires, and how your product is going to affect that, right? So focus, number one. Number two, marketing to the heart, not the mind. People make make decisions by emotions, and they justify logically. But you got to start on the heart, not on the mind, right?
Yep.
And number three, the biggest thing I learned was just how all the retail and e-commerce world works. I was working with Amazon, and using a little bit of like their platform and logistics, and I learned a crap load about shipping, and I learned about a bunch of stuff. And that experience, even though I lost some money there because I switched too fast, and now we're like going back up. But one of the biggest things is that even just this deal that we're signing here, I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't know and I had gone through that experience back then.
See, so
right, so
learn from
those
everything.
three. Yeah, man, brother, I gotta get going soon because we're gonna be heading out soon. But super awesome to be here with you and to be chatting about all this stuff. So I hope the audience and people got value, and leave us our questions and stuff like that. Don't be shy. And yeah, bro.
Yeah, thank you for joining today from Florida. Enjoy the rest of your trip. have some
Thanks, brother.
fun and some good business with Alex Rodriguez, Alex the speaker, and we got a lot of exciting stuff coming for you again. And we're doing those live streams. If you're catching it for the first time, we're doing those live streams, Q&A with valuable information, some insights, some interesting information, updated
Totally.
stuff every week, at
Yeah,
least once a week,
I love it.
live here and everywhere. So be sure to catch the next ones. Usually it's either Sunday or Monday around 4 p.m. Eastern time, so everyone can join wherever they are, somewhere in the world, in Europe or in the West Coast or East Coast. It's a good time for everyone. So thank you, Andres, for being here today.
Thank you,
And
guys.
thank
Awesome.
you to the audience. If you have any questions, things that you want us
Love
to
ranting
speak
about
about
this
next
stuff.
time, please drop them in the comments below. And thank you. I'll see you again very soon.
Peace.